Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into those jaw-dropping revenge stories that hit you right in the feels. You know, the ones inspired by real Reddit tales, but cranked up with emotional twists that keep you glued to the screen. Today we've got a wild one. A woman named Riley, whose boyfriend's family pulls the ultimate test by pretending to be dirt poor, only for her to flip the script in the most satisfying way imaginable. Buckle up, because this is a long-form story packed with betrayal, hypocrisy, and sweet, sweet karma. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We drop these emotional roller coasters every week. Let's jump in. Riley had been dating Adrian for about 8 months when he finally suggested she meet his family. It was a big step, and she could tell he was on edge during the drive to their house for Sunday dinner. His knuckles whitened on the steering wheel, and he kept glancing at her with that mix of excitement and nerves. "Just so you know," he said, his voice a little too casual, "my family's pretty low-key. We don't have a lot, but we're close-knit and share what we do have." Riley squeezed his hand, her heart warming at his vulnerability. "Adrian, I don't care about any of that," she replied honestly, and she meant it. What she didn't mention was the homework she'd already done. You see, Riley wasn't one to walk into situations blind. A quick LinkedIn search had revealed the truth. Adrian's father, Richard, owned a chain of 3 high-end luxury car dealerships scattered across the state. His mother, Diane, held seats on the boards of 2 Fortune 500 companies. His older sister, Veronica, was a powerhouse partner at one of the city's top law firms, raking in 7 figures a year. And the address Adrian had given her? It led to Meadowbrook, a ritzy suburb where homes averaged $2.3 million. But as they pulled up to a rundown ranch-style house in a sketchy neighborhood, peeling paint, overgrown lawn, and a beat-up old sedan in the driveway, Riley's instincts kicked in. This wasn't their real home. They were testing her, playing the poor family card to see if she was a gold digger. Her stomach tightened with a mix of amusement and irritation. She'd heard about these kinds of games from wealthy families, but experiencing it firsthand, it felt like a slap in the face. Still, she plastered on a smile as Adrian parked. The garage door was firmly shut, probably hiding their actual rides like BMWs or Teslas. "This is it," Adrian said, his voice laced with anxiety. Riley nodded, her mind racing. "Looks cozy," she replied, following him to the door while mentally cataloging every detail. Diane opened the door, dressed in a faded sweatshirt and worn jeans, her hair in a no-frills ponytail. She pulled Riley into a hug that felt rehearsed, like something out of a bad sitcom. "You must be Riley. Come in, come in. Sorry about the mess." The interior was a masterclass in stage poverty. Mismatched furniture that screamed rental, generic wall art, and a clunky TV from the early 2000s. But Riley's sharp eyes caught the slip-ups, a Hermes scarf casually tossed over a chair arm, a Mont Blanc pen on the side table, and the faint tan line on Richard's wrist where a Rolex usually sat. Riley's pulse quickened with quiet anger. How dare they assume she judged them, or worse, that she was only in it for money? She complimented the house anyway, keeping her voice warm. "It's got good bones," Diane replied with a practiced smile. "We've been here 20 years, even if it needs some TLC. Dinner was served on chipped plates with bent forks, and Riley watched Veronica, the high-powered lawyer, wince subtly as she handled the cheap cutlery. Mitchell, the younger brother, kept shooting her sidelong glances, like he expected her to flee any second. Richard cleared his throat over the meal, his eyes appraising. "So Riley, what do you do for work?" She took a slow bite, feeling the weight of their stares. "I'm between jobs right now," she said truthfully. She just sold her digital marketing firm for 8 figures and was enjoying a sabbatical. "Tough economy out there." Richard nodded sympathetically, but his eyes gleamed with calculation. "What field?" "Digital marketing, some freelance gigs." She kept it vague, her heart pounding as she decided to play their game. Diane chimed in. "Did you go to college?" Riley leaned back, fabricating on the spot. "A couple years, but I had to drop out financial stuff." It was a total lie. She'd graduated top of her class from an Ivy League school. but she wanted to see how deep the charade went. The family exchanged quick, knowing looks, a silent confirmation of their suspicions. Mitchell piped up. Student loans? Yeah, still chipping away at them, Riley said, watching Diane touch Adrian's arm with feigned concern. That must be so stressful, Diane cooed, her tone dripping with condescension that made Riley's fists clench under the table. Throughout the meal, they layered on the struggles. Richard griped about car repair costs, ironic given his dealership empire. Diane mentioned coupon clipping, despite her Cartier bracelet in online photos. And Veronica whined about lingering law school debt, laughable after 15 years of big law paychecks. Their coordination was almost admirable, but it fueled Riley's growing frustration, a hot knot in her chest from the disrespect. After dinner, Adrian helped in the kitchen, leaving Riley alone with Richard on the back porch. The deck creaked underfoot, desperately needing repair, and Richard leaned on the railing with a grave expression. Riley's skin prickled with anticipation. Adrian really cares about you, he began, his voice heavy. We just want to make sure you're in it for the right reasons. She played dumb, her mind whirling. What do you mean? Richard sighed dramatically. He's a good kid, big heart. We've seen him hurt by people more interested in his wallet than him. We're not wealthy, Riley. What you see is what you get. If you're expecting an upgrade or support, his words hung like a challenge, and Riley felt a surge of betrayal, not just for herself, but for Adrian, who deserved better than this manipulation. She met his gaze steadily. I'm with Adrian because I love him, not his bank account. Richard patted her shoulder, seemingly satisfied, but Riley's blood boiled. Alone for a moment, she texted her assistant. Pull my portfolio docs. Fake a broke paper trail, student loans, credit card debt. Make it airtight. The reply came fast. On it. Back inside, Diane cornered her, holding Riley's hands with faux warmth. Adrian has big dreams, business, house, family. Those need stability. Have you thought about contributing if things get serious? Riley's cheeks burned with suppressed rage. We'll figure it out as a team, she said evenly, but inside she seethed at the hypocrisy. As they left, Adrian apologized. They're intense because money's tight. They get protective. Riley kissed his cheek, her resolve hardening. I get it. They headed to her modest one-bedroom in a middle-class neighborhood, her normal spot, hiding her downtown penthouse and Malibu beach house. Over the next 2 weeks, the family's act intensified. Mitchell friended her on social media, screenshotting her curated budget life posts. Veronica lunched with her, moaning about costs while dripping in subtle luxury. Riley played along, showing up in Target outfits, driving her old beater car, complaining about rent hikes. Their smug glances only fueled her internal fire, a mix of powerlessness and anticipation for the reveal. Adrian's birthday party at the ranch house was the turning point. Riley arrived with a cheap gift, a first edition book he'd wanted, rebound plainly to hide its $12,000 auction price. He beamed, his family eyed it with disdain. Then Diane pulled her into the kitchen, where Richard and Veronica waited like a tribunal. Riley's heart raced, palms sweaty. We're fond of you, Richard started, but concerned about the financial dynamic. Veronica cut in. You're struggling, understandable, but Adrian deserves an equal partner. The words stung like salt in a wound, Riley's mind flashing to her own hard-earned success. Diane added softly, love isn't always enough. Practicalities matter. Are you asking me to break up with him? Riley asked, voice steady despite the storm inside. They exchanged looks. Think about what's best for him, Veronica said. Is it fair to burden him? Richard slid an envelope across. $5,000. Take it. Say you're moving for a job. Let him move on. Riley's vision blurred with fury, the arrogance, the entitlement. Diane teared up manipulatively. Veronica was cold. Richard determined. She counted the cash, then laughed a deep, genuine release that unsettled them. Funny, Veronica snapped. Riley flashed her banking app. $847,000 in checking alone. You want to pay me $5,000 to leave? I spent more on his gift. Their faces paled. She pulled up her real LinkedIn. Riley Whitaker, founder, former CEO of Catalyst Digital, sold for $8.3 million. Board member for 3 Fortune 500s, net worth over $15 million. Shock rippled through them. Then the photos, their real lives, the Meadowbrook mansion, Teslas. I knew from day one. Property records show this is a rental month to month. Started 6 weeks ago. Diane gasped. Richard stammered. Nice Hermes scarf, by the way, Riley added, her voice edged with steel. Yeah, Veronica recovered. Why play along? Riley's smile turned cold. To see how far you'd go. And you did coercion via payoff. I could sue, but I won't. Just explain to Adrian. On cue, he entered, seeing the cash, their guilt. What's going on? Riley laid it out. The test, the act, the bribe because she failed by being too poor. Adrian's face drained of color. Mom, Diane stammered. Riley showed her bank balance. You're rich, he whispered, dazed. Sold my company. Wanted you to love me for me. He turned on his family. You rented a house? Lied? Then paid her off when she passed your test? His voice cracked with betrayal, fists clenched. Veronica defended. For your future and equal partner. Adrian's laugh was bitter. Like you with Dad, starting from nothing? Or Mom eloping because Grandma judged Dad's class? Diane's tears turned real, shame etching her face. Adrian grabbed Riley's hand. We're leaving. Don't call. Outside, he stared at her Mercedes G-Wagon parked nearby. Yours? She nodded. Silence blanketed the drive until he spoke. I'm sorry, I had no idea. Riley pulled over, her own emotions surging relief, love, vindication. I know you didn't. That's why I stayed. At her penthouse, Adrian gaped at the city views, floor-to-ceiling windows bathing the space in golden light. This is you? Riley kicked off her shoes, vulnerability creeping in. Yeah, bought it as an investment, but it's home. They talked for hours, her business empire, his family's paranoia. Over days, his phone exploded with apologies. Diane's fear-driven essay, Richard's line-crossing admission, Veronica's self-realization, Mitchell's, your girlfriend's badass. Adrian met them alone, returning exhausted but hopeful. Family therapy for trust issues. Their wealth made them paranoid. Riley nodded, her heart softening slightly. When you're rich, you wonder if anyone loves you broke, Diane had said via Adrian. But Riley pointed out the flaw. Gold diggers research too. Your test caught amateurs. 2 weeks later, Diane called Riley for coffee. Nervous in elegant attire, she apologized rawly. Manipulative, cruel, paranoia from past users warped us. Riley challenged. If I was truly broke, would you apologize? Diane pondered. I'd like to say yes, but therapy's showing my warped values. I became my judgmental mother-in-law. Honesty earned a fresh start. Months passed. Dinners at the real Meadowbrook mansion highlighted the stark contrast, opulent rooms, priceless art. Veronica confessed projecting her failed marriage. Mitchell rethought dating paranoia. Richard respected Riley's grind. Building from nothing? Impressive. Relations warmed. Book clubs, group chats. 6 months post-confrontation, Adrian got serious over dinner. You chose grace over revenge. I want a life with you. Riley's heart soared. Your defense showed me everything. A year and a half later, he proposed at the Malibu beach house, simple, sunset-kissed. The family rejoiced genuinely. Wedding planning bonded Riley and Diane. The vineyard ceremony was intimate. Richard's speech praised Riley's character. She taught us grace. Adrian's real love's about who you are, not what you have. 2 years married, Adrian's business thrives. Riley's new venture soars. The family transformed. Therapy, volunteering, scholarships, pro bono work. That first dinner's pain revealed truths, Adrian's loyalty, family's growth potential, Riley's grace. Money was noise, love and respect endured. Whew, what a ride. If this story of betrayal turned triumph had you hooked, smash that like button, comment your favorite twist. Was it the payoff reveal or the family apologies? Subscribe for more emotionally charged revenge tales and hit the bell so you never miss one. Thanks for watching and see you next time.